correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome back to the How We Roll Gaming podcast, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Nick, I have you with me. I hope that you are doing well, too.
I am. It's been a harsh week, but I'm doing well. Glad to hear from you.
We will hopefully, at least be able to put that aside for a little bit while we chat tonight. We don't have Robert. Robert is out on assignment again, as we say in the biz.
He's doing his thing, but he's left. But we're not alone on this one.
Nope, we've called in backup. So before we get to the backup, let's get business out of the way. And if you're looking for another great show from the D20 Radio Network, check out I Should Roll, a sci-fi actual play podcast filled with adventure, mystery, and memorable characters.
With outstanding roleplay, engaging storytelling, and all the unexpected twists that come from a tabletop RPG, it's easily recommended for fans of science fiction and actual plays alike. Search for I Should Roll wherever you get your podcasts. Enjoy the adventure.
All right, so for this episode, being that it's going to be dropping right at the end of June, right at the end of Pride Month, we're talking about LGBTQ plus representation, experiences, and perspectives in gaming. From the characters we create and the worlds we build, to fostering welcoming tables and inclusive gaming spaces, we're diving into how identity and storytelling intersect in our hobby. So whether you're a longtime player, a new gamer looking for your place at the table, or a GM trying to build a more inclusive game for your group, we're sharing our thoughts, experiences, and a few lessons we've picked up along the way. So grab your dice.
That may or may not be in your flag colors.
Pull up a chair.
That you're incapable of sitting in like a normal person. What? These are semi-universal experiences for us. Come on.
Join us.
You have your corner. You have your corner.
And join us as we talk about pride, representation, and the many ways tabletop gaming can help people tell the stories that matter to them. And one of our backups has already been providing backup. We have familiar voices to the podcast with us. We have Betsy and Lauren joining us again.
It's us.
Yay! I should have put in like an applause, crowd applause sound,
or like the Price is Right theme or something.
Yes.
Yeah, come on down.
Oh, a little bit. You are probably the best, and I'll admit, as a DM, I am new to the understanding of these things, but I'm very inclusive. But I'm also will say that I'm not the most versed on these, so I'm glad to have some voices that can speak.
Yes. There's a reason why my players are listening out more than yours.
To amend.
Yes.
And
we are going to
take some lessons for that.
I will teach you the ways.
We are going to break with format just a little bit and provide some introductions for everyone. So who would like to go first?
I can start.
Nick?
Yeah.
Start, Betsy.
Okay, I'm Betsy. You may have heard me on the other sister podcast, or I was on one episode of this. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your local pansexual.
Lovely. I suppose I'll go next. I'm Lauren. You might have seen me on an episode 2 of this podcast, or most of the episodes on the sister podcast, and maybe even on my own YouTube channel. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm a trans woman, and I'm asexual. I've got multiple of those little letters going on in there.
You have so many of the flags.
Yes, I have ultimate
so
power.
many.
You're those LGBTQIA, etc. that they always talk about.
I'm at least a couple of those, yeah.
You're the plus. And I'm Daryl, he, him. I am a Sis Byman.
Lovely.
And Nick?
I'm Nick. I go by he, him. I am cis, but I have things that I'm still trying to work out.
All right.
Don't we all?
Everyone's trying to figure everything themselves out.
It's part of the
is-
fun.
that is the letter
that-
Q, the questioning.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it
Or
was
just queer, which goes for everything.
Yes.
Yes.
I will say that my only problem with the LGBTQ plus thing is like, why do you have to bring math into it?
Sometimes
Math.
sometimes it's an asterisk.
Then I would prefer
Nick
that.
Nick is just lucky that I do not have the calculator plush in arm's reach.
Wow, of course.
And that he's not a reach of you to throw it at him.
I do have a drawer full of, like 30 calculators sitting right here next to me.
Beautiful.
Why?
Nick, it's our newest model. It's our newest model.
I mean, I guess that's good since it's well known throughout the land that gays can't do math.
Nick is now traumatized and curling up into a ball in a corner.
And that's why I can do math, because I'm ace.
Yeah, there's like the little math brain cell, and it's only like shared amongst a very few select queer people, and then the rest of us just can't math at all.
I have the power.
All right, so let's dive in.
Alrighty
Lauren,
then.
you brought the topic to us. It is an awesome and timely topic. So I will give you the floor to start.
Very well. So, one thing that I will, of course, note is that different tables have different tones, and sometimes matters of sex and romance simply won't be a substantial part of the narrative that a particular group is comfortable with. At the same time, some tables may have that as a core element to what they want to do. Getting a read on what the group as a whole find amenable is important, as these factors can simultaneously be highly cathartic or potentially trigger traumatic memories depending on the execution and, in particular, the agency players have in the situation. It's important to make sure that whatever you're doing, everybody is on board with it. That you're able to be welcoming to all the players involved.
Yeah, I would say this kind of ties back into what I think you guys already had an episode about this, but like a session 0 manifesto kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as like trying to set those boundaries from the get-go.
That's exactly where I was about to go. I think that we've mentioned it a couple of times that after this year's Session 0 manifesto update, we came up with the idea of a Session 0 agreement that, as both of you know, because you're part of our group, we've been testing out with our group this year.
Yeah.
Where we go down the list and get a read of where everybody stands on different topics and tones and things like that. And one of the things on the list, on the version that we're using, is whether we want to fade to black on things, or what rating do we want to give the campaign.
Metaphorically,
our version of the document, which is tailored in tone and approach to our tone and approach, with anyone who has seen all of us together gaming. Hey, Steve, are you listening? Knows that we have a not unsarcastic and snarky approach to things. And so it does say anyone who says NC-17 needs to get out, but no, they don't.
It's just funnier if you put it that way.
Yes, exactly.
Before, like, everyone has to agree on that. And, like,
yeah,
it has to be agreed upon.
Yeah, exactly.
There are certain things that were like, it's not as completely like as draconian as calling it an MPA rating. It's like, we could have like blood, guts, and other stuff, but like they have to be in degrees. Like,
yeah, and
I'd say like we could run an alien campaign PG-13. It wouldn't be as cool, in my opinion, but that's how it is.
Well, and some systems honestly don't lend themselves necessarily to like Walking Dead. Walking Dead does not. anytime anyone gets close like that at all on The Walking Dead, you know that they're next up to be on the couch on Talking Dead.
Or it's like, be honest, there, that's just me. I'm, I'm. If there was if there was a Talking Dead says it for our campaign, I'm there like every other
Oh
week.
yeah.
The reason why I bring this up in the first place is because whenever it comes to our particular group, the matters of sex and romance aren't really substantial themes that we operate with. Usually, sometimes there will be a romance between some characters, but it's not every game. It's only on occasional games, and it's usually not a huge focus of any particular narrative element. On a very rare occasion it will be a plot element. Like, I know there's something about that in the D&D game that's been going on.
Oh, don't get me
There
started.
was,
Mhm.
there were some things that occurred, but and those were meant to be story points. To honestly, I feel that's a good point.
Well, I've
Romance
still got a
can
bit
be
more, but
oh,
Yeah, go
yes,
ahead.
by
We can
yeah.
cover that in a bit,
Mhm.
Nick.
Yes, by contrast, I run my own games online, and the players that I have in my own games are very interested in this sort of stuff. They're much more interested in romantic elements, and so
Are you going to tell
in
them how you described it?
I'll get to that later. I've got a part for that.
Ooh.
But you see it in the notes down there. But in a general sense, I run two different games. I've mentioned them before here. One is Net Battlers, based on the Mega Man Battle Network series, and the other is Genso Narrotograph, based on the Toho series of video games. And in Net Battlers, they have much more of an emphasis on romancing each other, whereas in Narratograph, they have a much greater emphasis on romancing the NPCs. And I definitely have more to say about both of these elements a bit later on. But for now, I just want to bring up the fact that, the the fact that these different groups that I'm a part of have very different emphasis gives me a very different experience with both groups, not just for being in person and online, respectively, and not just for being a player and being a GM, respectively, but also just because there's a fundamentally different focus of what people are expecting and what people are wanting out of the game. And I think that's very cool. Uh, it's very nice being able to do some more action heavy, I guess you could say, stuff with y'all, but then the more deepened character dynamics found in my online games also have their own appeal that I'm able to lean into more in a different respect. And it's
oh,
just it's neat seeing different people playing games different ways.
you're correct that most of it has been accent based, but there are some uh, in certain games that I am running in the future will have more of that interpersonal role playing rather than the accent base in order to build that core development. Not to spoil any sort of campaigns that I have in the future, but definitely is something I've been exploring. It's something I haven't done, but something I haven't done before. So it's interesting. It's great to hear that that is something that might be interesting to the players.
Yeah.
I know that I have tended to, as a GM, I haven't consciously avoided or highlighted those sorts of themes simply because in most cases I have a vibe of the group. And so we I think that there are some of us who would be more open to exploring stories like that, but I also am 100% certain that there are members of the group who either wouldn't be comfortable with it or just plain wouldn't get it.
And that's fair as well.
Hmm.
Again,
And so,
I've been running games probably similarly as long as you. It's like that's why I'm thinking like for these campaigns, I've been waiting a while before I come up with these concepts that maybe introducing. Again, I'm not introducing them as a hard fact, but it's like an option.
This is just kind of a funny thing that some some friends of ours that we used to know. Well, we still know one of them that my wife and I know, who almost exclusively were D&D players, and I kept trying to sell them on Star Wars, and basically they're like, well, we'd be willing to try it. Can you put us together, like, basically without saying it in so many words, they wanted like Skinamax Star Wars.
Oh,
And I was like, let me see what I can come up with. And I'm like,
I mean, it's certainly possible.
it's possible, but I was having a hard time coming up with, I was having a hard time meshing Star Wars with, I wouldn't call late night Cinemax NC-17, but it's somewhere between
no,
R and NC-17.
I put that if we had to go with the MPA, it's like MA. That'd be like more the TV version, MA.
Yeah, and I was having trouble with it, and well, and then they split up, so it became a non-issue anyway. So
yeah, but honestly,
but I kind of
Daryl,
see what you're. Sorry, go ahead. Nick.
honestly, Daryl, as I, yeah, there are a lot of people that I know online that be like Star Wars mature. It has mature ideas and concepts, but like it always does skew towards Star Wars is for kids and families for the most part.
yeah,
And
what
it
were you about
does.
to say, Betsy?
Oh, I was going to say, I feel like this kind of ties back into some of what we talked about with the Session Zero manifesto of what we want from a game. Because I think some of that also kind of comes down to, like, is the campaign going to be something that's more like plot heavy, or is it going to be more character heavy? And like where you find the space to spend time focusing on those aspects of like, interpersonal relationships between characters versus like, whatever the ongoing like general plot of the campaign is, and finding a way to balance those, because sometimes it's hard to like find that balance or to find a way to focus on one without it being to the detriment of the other, or having to like completely stop what you're doing to focus on one and then go back to the other or anything like that. So I think that's like just kind of an interesting thing to think about, like how to find a good balance to create those moments without like
honestly fair.
losing the plot.
Honestly
Yeah.
fair. Like say that you are again using a Star Wars example, you're a rebel group. You could be a rebel group that's like you're doing big missions, you're blowing up Imperial machines, but you could also be a small group, a rebel cell doing like dubious missions and spycraft, where that could be like moments like this could be where moments of intimacy, regardless of character or species, or could be a plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Betsy.
I was going to say one good example I can think of is like Dante in various games. He's one of our players, and he's created a lot of scenarios that involve like him and an NPC's like existing or developing a relationship, and like how to fit that in just as a matter of course organically like during gameplay.
I wouldn't say it's a challenge, but it is something that I have enjoyed working with him on. He has like these strong characters and these ideas, like even though not initially put into the gameplay, he does have some strong ideas that make for great gameplay moments.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's cool how he finds a way to like tie those like character things, including like even just romances with an NPC, into his character's overall arc.
Honestly, some of the best moments I've had with him was for his introducing a an ex love interest, and it's like he gave me no details on it. It's like, but I played off of that. It's like made a femme fatale that worked off of him, and he was like, this is fitting the idea that he had without him even explicitly giving me the details. And it
Yeah.
was
And for the
fun.
record, Dante is also one of us.
Yes.
He's also one of the Alphabet Mafia.
Yes, but
Yes.
it was fun that he sort of gave that impression, and then without him telling me what the character was, as the GM for that session, I created a character that I was like, okay, he has a antagonist. So I went with like the classic femme fatale. And it's like, well, it worked. It worked. They sparred verbally, and it felt right. We played off of each other.
Yeah, and I think like, going from that when it comes to like queer player characters, queer characters or anything, it's kind of following the same path where, you let players kind of see what organically they want to put in with their characters as well and just kind of go with the flow.
He didn't imply anything about the nature of the character before, so I went with the most obvious, a classic femme fatale, but it could have been a male character or otherwise. I just went with with my personal default.
There
Well,
is also
and
the fact that out of everybody in the group, Dante's the only one who has ever tried to initiate a romantic dynamic with any of my characters, particularly my character Tay in The Walking Dead, who is a gender ambiguous individual. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
this being The Walking Dead, that didn't really work out too well.
because that
Well, also,
character is
yes.
kind of dead.
Well,
Mhm,
also, you're
that character
invisible.
ended up on the couch on Talking Dead.
mhm.
Well,
My
also,
character
your
is still
character.
around, though.
Well, your character is also invisible.
Yeah,
I was
my
gonna say they
character
have to
can't.
see your character first.
No, nobody knows what Tay's gender is because they don't ever pay attention enough to them.
I don't think anyone even knows what Tay's face looks like.
No, they
They're just
don't.
like this general outline of someone wearing a hoodie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's an impression of Tay, and they exist. But honestly, like, I
Canonically, everybody thinks that Tay's gender is whatever gender they are. So men see Tay as a man, women see Tay as a woman, non-binary people see Tay as non-binary. But no, because nobody pays enough attention to Tay because I maxed out Tay's stealth stat as much as possible.
It doesn't
honestly,
matter. That's just Tay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I
honestly,
think that's another fun example though, where like there was never any point where it's like, you had to come out and say, okay, guys, Tay is a character of indeterminate gender. Just want to make sure you all get that through your head. It was just, oh, cool, this is who your character is. Awesome, sounds
Mm-hmm.
great.
Yeah, I will also note that apparently, I think Daryl, you had some implication that like the mob boss's daughter might be interested in Tay, which would imply some things about her own sexuality, considering that she would see Tay as a fellow woman after all.
Which good for her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that's a storyline that I didn't think. I remember that. Oh yeah, I
You,
remember that.
you
Yeah.
haven't brought up the mob boss daughter in a while, but it was only a
Well,
brief moment
it
anyway. But
I think it was only one
didn't.
episode.
Oh no, she's not the one who ended up getting killed because she tried to kill you.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was somebody
Yeah,
else.
that was a different character.
Nah, see, so many of the incidental characters in that campaign just walk through a scene that I don't remember most of them.
Well,
And
now you can
and
remember
I'm
that
playing
she's
most
there,
of them.
and she's there. She apparently has some interest in lesing out or something.
Because I have made no secret on this show or to any of you that is my lowest prep campaign. I come up with a general like, okay, here's something that they will at least set out to accomplish this session. Go.
And then let chaos reign.
I'll
Yes,
say this:
because
do not
the
assign that
characters that
character to
you've
me because they will die.
the characters that you've all come up with are so strong that any more prep than that I do is going to be to the detriment of the session.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
kind of thinking
Because
about that earlier, actually, when we were talking. You briefly mentioned Walking Dead. I feel like that's a game where, as much as there's a plot, it also is very much like very character heavy. So that would be the
oh, it
kind of game where
is.
you could explore something like that. As much as whoever like explores that, they or their like potential partner, love interest, whatever, may end up on the couch. I mean, it's still a good
Well,
place to explore it, and there's not a guarantee they'll end up on the couch immediately after. Chris Hardwick might have to wait a little bit.
well, and
I
Dante's
think
character got a
I think
little
that'd be a fun way.
Dante's character got a little action after a trauma So
Yep.
So, it's not unheard of in Walking Dead, but it's also that moment came out of how
Drama
Dante's
and its
character and
presence.
that NPC had acted earlier in the session. And so it was the right beat to throw at that moment.
An emotional moment. It's like,
What I mean by saying the Walking Dead campaign is probably not the game for that, is more that I don't sit down and say like, okay, let's come up with a romance for this session.
I'm
But
sipping it. I'm sipping
if
it.
that's where the PCs and the NPCs go, that's where they go.
Honestly, I think that's kind of the best way to do it, to just let your player characters decide if that's something they want to do on their own and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally and
you can't
figuratively.
force.
Lauren,
It's not a
I
very
sip
good
with that
idea to try
character.
to
I sip
force
it.
any sort of romance sort of situation.
No.
It's you need to make sure that the players are on board with it, unless the point is that they're being like weird and creepy and uncomfortable.
Or
if
it's like
the point-
your game is like taking place on a dating show or whatever. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sure that exists.
Yeah.
Or actually, so at our first Gamer Nation Con, Stephanie played in a game that was supposed to be, it was basically a telenovela.
Yes, that's where it'd be built into it, because that's like kind of
Yes.
how telenovelas work.
Yeah, and she said it was a scream. She said it was so much fun.
I believe it. That sounds
You
like a
said-
great time.
I think it was a free download. I think I have it somewhere. Anyway,
Mhm.
that was a small rabbit hole.
Yep.
We've gotten in deeper rabbit holes.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like letting the characters go where they are. It's like in our nearly concluded Alien campaign,
Uh-huh.
my Colonial Marine, just in his bio when it was created, he joined the Colonial Marines because he wanted cool stories to use as pickup lines. That's as specific as I got about that. And there was that one downtime session, Betsy, where your character and mine were in the bar and he was hitting on men and women alike.
Yep, we both were.
Yes. And we were both failing miserably.
And then we got into a
Yeah.
discussion about how you don't like Keanu Reeves, and I was like, he seems like a lovely person.
Honestly,
Wait,
like,
was that in character or out? I don't remember.
Honestly, I
no,
don't remember
no.
either at this point.
that was a character. As GM, that was a character.
And meanwhile, what I'm doing in that game is that my character Dennis is a closeted trans woman, and if she survives to the end, we will have a flash forward to post transition, and nobody will know of Dennis. Nobody will ever know of Dennis.
It's true.
If anyone survives the final session of this campaign.
At some point, we're all going to be in an extremely dangerous situation, and Dennis is going to come out to you and reveal that she is a woman, and then she will be the final girl at the end of the movie.
Can you defeat the
Sounds about
Alien
right.
King?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be there for it. I'd be here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you defeat the Alien King? It's just like, I'm not saying that it's going to be difficult.
Respectfully, that's my job.
True.
Do we need to defeat the Alien King, or do we just need to survive long enough to get the hell out?
Ambiguous.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Both are difficult.
I understand, but one is probably less difficult than the other.
But how do you know for sure which is which? That's the real question.
That's more of like a 60-40 situation then. Because if you're on the world with the Alien King, you have to get off of that, and you don't have a transport off of that after the last mission. So
I thought you established that we did have a way off with the capsules.
Yeah, we had a whole thing about that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I specifically
And about
asked
who
you-
needs one and who doesn't.
I specifically asked
Yeah,
you
we
if
had a whole
got to the
conversation about that.
capsules, then
Mhm.
would we actually be able to get off the planet using the capsules, or were the capsules
Yes.
just there and not able to leave? And you did say that if we got to the capsules, they would allow us to leave.
Yes.
So you have to get to the capsules,
Yeah,
but it's going to be very difficult.
understandable.
Hey, we just need to find some people to Otis.
There we go.
Circling back to Walking Dead, we need to find somebody to Otis. Walking
Mhm.
Dead, the TV show that turned Otis into a verb. Lauren, since I know you don't watch much TV, especially live action TV, there was an episode in season 2 of Walking Dead where two of the characters were trying to get away from a horde of zombies, Shane and Otis. And Shane was kind of an asshole who had lived on the show longer than he did in the comic.
Do you have any idea
He
how little
was
that narrows it down with characters, Daryl?
Right. I'm just, kind of painting a
he
picture here.
was he was
And
the asshole.
to give you another frame of reference, Otis was played by the actor who played Pa Kent in last summer's Superman, which I know
Mhm.
that you saw
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
because
you're
you
right.
saw it
Yeah.
with us.
Yes.
And so Shane and Otis are running from a horde of zombies with
Wait,
this
wait.
equipment that they had gotten from this school that they'd gotten into. Shane pulls out his gun and he shot Otis in the kneecap and kept running so that all of the zombies swarmed on Otis. And so ever since then, harming someone so that the enemies that are following you focus on them is known as Otising.
Well, all right.
That's another rabbit hole.
Mhm.
We all know that we do these rabbit holes. All of us do them.
It's true. They're kind of unavoidable.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let the characters go where the characters go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of have a whole paragraph on that.
Well, go
Well,
for
then
it.
go into it.
Okay, I will.
It's Betsy paragraph time.
I mean,
Betsy
this isn't as
wallowed
long as they
time.
usually are. I
Well,
made
usually
it
you
more
have
concise.
Usually you have multiple walls of text.
It's
So-
true. I kept this pretty concise, so you're welcome, everybody.
We're introducing it properly. And you have the right to do so. So you may
Okay,
proceed.
but anyway, here's my tip to all GMs: just support your characters and support your players in making queer characters. That's it. That's the tip. But no, seriously, regardless of game setting, regardless of other player characters or NPCs, regardless of players' feelings, so regardless even of your own, even as a GM, GMs have an obligation to let players express various identities with their characters, free from harassment or bigotry or general assholery. I mean, for one, it's just basic human decency. Character creation is about creating an identity to live in and play with. That's part of what actually makes it fun. And hey, for some people, part of that identity is being queer. I feel like supporting that just goes a long way to help ensure a safe and respectful gaming environment for all your players. Oh, and speaking of players, I feel like there's a lot to be said about the benefits of using a character to explore different identities in a way that like maybe a person can't or isn't ready to in real life. A game can offer a space to do that in a safe, low stakes environment where they can experiment and kind of learn about themselves, which I think is really cool. And then, I've also been talking about player characters, but honestly, the same holds for your actual real world players at a table, because at the end of the day, respect is mandatory. Full stop. Do not pass go, do not collect 200 gold. I don't know, the Monopoly metaphor was getting away from me. But it doesn't matter if others at the table don't understand, because at the end of the day, they don't have to understand because it's not about them. All that's required is respecting the existence of the people you game with. So what does that look like in practice? Honestly, a lot of things. It can look like setting boundaries around language and conversations among the group. It can look like someone asking questions if they want to learn or better understand something. It can look like normalizing asking for pronouns, we did during our intros, just saying our pronouns and making that a normal thing people do. It can look like using an individual's correct name and pronouns both from the get-go and if they change. Really, above all, it just kind of looks like making an effort. Oh, and something else I want to highlight, just kind of on that tangent, we're all humans, and sometimes we make mistakes and misspeak or say the wrong things, and that's okay, it happens. Speaking from personal experience here, it's uncomfortable, yeah, but not the end of the world. All you gotta do is apologize, correct yourself, do better next time. That's it.
That is probably the best explanation of all things, and it's something that I've had to learn. I've made many mistakes in my past, and I still make mistakes. I'm bad
You're human. You will make mistakes.
with names, and but I do not intend it, because I make mistakes with names and pronouns. I do not intentionally do those.
The only name mistakes that we won't let you live down, Nick, is whenever you call Stephanie or Betsy Dana, because Dana hasn't been in the group for like 7 years.
Supposedly supposed to come back at some point.
You're trying to manifest it by calling us her name.
But I am saying that I have made those mistakes in the past. And I'll say,
Hey, most people have.
yes, part of it
It's not
is
something that you do like with malicious intent, because that's why it's a mistake. And
It-
the best
it-
thing you can do that I've learned is just you know apologize, correct yourself, and do better next time. And as far as the apologizing part goes too, it's not like you get on your knees and grovel and make a big deal out of it, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't believe I messed up, because that just makes it an uncomfortable situation. And now you're putting it on the other person to like have to forgive you.
Honestly, I just
Yeah,
internalized
you're just like,
that.
I'm sorry, I screwed up. I didn't realize I did it.
Yeah, because
And
in a couple episodes ago, whenever y'all were talking about people leaving games, y'all brought me up, and y'all started out by using they them for me, and then y'all eventually shifted into using he him, and so that's not right. So
Yeah, I
hopefully,
apologize.
the next time that y'all bring me up in one of these,
Yep.
y'all, I would hope that y'all will use she her, as I
Yes.
would greatly appreciate that. And I'm
But
not
again-
gonna annihilate you or grill you over the coals
No,
over it. It's
admit
just
I have made mistakes
You're going
in
to
the
shoot
past.
everybody with translasers.
Yes, I will fire
And-
my annihilation beam of the infinite hamster vortex, but
Mhm.
we'll get to that
Ah.
later.
I obviously can't speak for Nick. I didn't even realize that I had done that. It was I can almost certainly say it just came out of flow of conversation, so I apologize.
Hey,
and
that's
I
where the
have
self-awareness
apologized
comes in.
before, but I will say that, like, when I realized it and you brought that to my attention, I did not feel offended. I felt like I was like, I acknowledge that I made a mistake, and again, it's just nomenclature. It's and ultimately, like, I there are multiple ways I could excuse it, but like it was a mistake.
I understand. I just hope that going in the future, if y'all bring me up again, y'all will use the correct pronouns. That's ultimately what I'm.
If there's any other future mistakes, feel free to call us out, and I will be perfectly fine with like apologizing and doing my best to.
All right.
Again, mainly because I'm just bad with identifying people in general.
Understandable.
I mean, hey,
Yep,
Lauren, I think I told you that if I ever use like wrong names or pronouns, just feel free to throw something at me. I meant that literally. That's what I tell everyone. Just throw something at me and I'll learn.
Well, I don't tend to
Yeah,
throw
I
things
mean-
at people, but I'll keep that in mind.
Well, I mean, just don't, concuss me, maybe.
Well, mainly because I've also
probably-
misidentified entire people entirely.
This is
I
true.
mean, we're
you have done
probably
that.
all just fast reaching the point that Nick's going to just start calling all of us Dana.
Yeah, that's the only way this can end.
We're all Dana now.
Yep.
Everything returns to Dana.
Although there is no Dana,
Until-
only Zool.
Only Zool. Mm-hmm.
Only
Yeah.
Zool.
Sourceanization of Dana.
Until Dana returns, there will only be everyone else, and then I'll call Dana.
Wait,
So wait, what
Daryl.
you're saying is Dana will return.
in Avengers, I don't have that clip loaded up here.
Damn it.
We don't do that. We don't do that running gag here.
Ah, I was trying to set you up.
That is a different
We don't-
running gag.
That was a perfect setup, Daryl.
It was, but we.
But I do want
This is chaos. We don't Avengers running gag here.
to.
And
Can I
I'm
say
probably the
something
only
about-
one among us who got that joke.
But can I say something about? I want to be honest about. I'll admit I don't understand a whole lot about the LGBTQ plus community, but I do value them, and I do like to learn. I want to learn about, and they are people that I want to be friends with.
Nick,
No.
you already are.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
You're friends with all three
cross
of us.
that bridge.
I
just
mean,
wanted to say,
your
Is this you
your
trying to
home
say
is-
we're not your friends, Nick?
no,
Nick, your home
Fine,
is
tell us how you
homeless.
really feel.
Your home is
Or maybe-
filled with us every weekend.
Maybe
Mhm.
he's saying that we're more than friends to him.
I'm just
Are
saying
we
that
family?
Aww.
Nick loves us.
Wait, has he changed the will yet? Does that mean he's changed the will?
no,
Have you changed the
The
will?
will.
I'm trying to say that I've expanded my ideas of friendship, and it has been very inclusive, and it's part of my RPG journey, and I feel that that is integral to that. Everyone
Yeah,
is included. Everyone deserves
absolutely.
to be as part of the RPG community, and it's for because you can be who you want to be. You can
hmm
be everyone, regardless who you are and who you want to play.
Absolutely.
I
And
mean, regardless of what game you're playing, what setting, whether or not your character is even human, RPG experiences at the end of the day are human experiences. Just, with
Mhm.
different like aesthetics and themes slapped on top.
are you an elf? Are you a Twi'lek? Are you? You could be anything.
You can even
But
be
you
an explosion
are
hamster.
You
a
sure
person.
can be an explosion hamster.
Nick, I want to play
That's
a
what I
calculator in
wanted
the
to
next game
explain.
then.
Do it.
Fine, sir. Fine.
Nick,
You can be whatever you want to
I
be.
want to be a plushy calculator in the next game.
Nice.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Well, we have a miniature. It's a bit big for a miniature, but we have one.
We'll figure
A
it out.
See, there you go. You
Calcaboo.
already have the props.
What I'm
And
saying is that
Yoda's
Yeah.
species ain't got nothing on the plushy calculator species.
Yes,
True
Nick,
facts,
your
true
ultimate
facts.
point.
But yeah, no,
you're
Nick, I
thinking-
definitely hear what you're saying, and I do like to hear that. I think that's great that you found a way to like kind of expand your understanding of the different kinds of people that exist, and I think that's also a quintessentially human experience too, because our experiences are limited to ourselves, the things that we learn and see and in the world around us, and at the end of the day, we'll never really know anyone else's experience, but we can learn about them, we can ask about them.
these aren't experiences that are my experiences, but as a player, as also a GM, it's storytelling. I want to know about other experiences, and you are individuals that work with me to. I'm just trying to say
You
that
still there, Nick?
it's great to see these other experiences, and
Nick.
I
Uh-oh.
appreciate it.
Hold on,
I
I'm gonna
hope that
pause.
makes
Oh, no.
sense.
Well, that's
And
beautiful,
we
Nick.
appreciate that you do it,
It
for
is.
us.
Mhm.
Yes, we do.
And
Yes,
Because,
we do.
speaking of the idea of being a GM and exploring characters through them, there
Yes.
is also the matter of gender exploration as a GM. Because while
Mhm.
players can, of course, choose to experiment through gender through the creation and acting of various characters, they tend to only create one character at a time, so it's really more of an opt in situation for them. However, the GM is in a position that more so requires doing so to some extent, as otherwise the game would only have NPCs with a single gender throughout the entire narrative. On some level, being the GM and acting out characters of a variety of different roles and genders and, elements does have a certain queerness to it in that regard.
I'd
Uh,
super agree with that.
as more
Honestly,
experienced GMs, yeah. How do y'all feel about that?
honestly, I would ask I never asked this before. But, Slim Shady, he's been a consistent character, but have you ever asked what? Oh, I guess he's always presented male. So, but Slim
Yeah, I mean,
Shady has always.
until I gave you the Duros Mini because it just
Yeah.
screamed the character to me, I just was always picturing Eminem.
Although here's the fun thing with pronouns: just because someone uses he/him doesn't mean they're a guy.
Admittedly, I always just envision somebody in like a big cloaky trench coat, completely covered in shadows. So
Honestly, same.
that
Who just sounds like Eminem.
gender ambiguous
Honestly,
individual.
See,
Honestly, I
the
just
reason I
I
didn't
imagine it's
have that mental picture is because one of the earliest groups that Nick introduced Slim Shady in, Slim Shady kept standing under a flickering light, and we went up and screwed it in so that it was, solid, consistent light.
Mm.
So you know, part of my mental image was undermining the bit and making the character able to be seen clearly.
But
but
did
to
you
be
actually
honest,
see the character clearly, or did you just see what Slim Shady wanted you to see at that particular moment?
I
yeah,
mean,
we made
we've
Sim
established at
City
this
is
point that Slim Shady is a Time Lord.
Mhm.
So therefore Slim Shady can be anyone or anything,
Exactly.
Slim Shady
because
is Tay in the future.
the only thing that's
the
consistent
classic
is
Doctor Who, we saw Romana try on a non-human body
the
for
only the
regeneration.
only consistent is that he has bone marrow, which
And
is the bone horse.
I was going to say, I love bone marrow. Bone marrow is friend.
Yes, as a mysterious, shady individual that people can't properly perceive, obviously Slim Shady is Tay in the future.
I was literally going to make that joke. You
This
stole my
is
thing that I was going to say, Lauren.
we need to figure out how Tay becomes Slim Shady in the future.
It seems City, if Tay dies, their future is theirs yeeted
Now,
into to the multiverse.
Tay gets hit by a
here's
truck and is isekai to Slim Shady.
Tay
here's
gets run over by
man.
extra-dimensional tourists.
Yeah, there we go.
Why does Tay have to be in the Walking Dead campaign? Because I can't bring myself to have the regeneration energy coming out of a character in Walking Dead.
No,
I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
that's the thing. Tay isn't Slim Shady yet. This is how they become Slim Shady someday in the future.
Which, as a multiversal entity, they just become a sort of incorporeal
Or
being.
or is this like how, Doctor Doom looks like Tony Stark?
Oh, maybe.
In Avengers Doomsday!
So many theories. So many theories.
Tay is an alternate universe version of Slim Shady.
There we go. And that's why Slim Shady can never appear in our Walking Dead games, because it would be a paradox.
Yeah.
Yes. There
And
we
then the
Shady
go.
fabric
can't-
of reality would start to tear apart.
I mean,
Yes,
if
I'm
Nick
glad we
has a
figured this
character
out.
that lasts more than like 5 sessions in Walking Dead, the fabric of reality will tear apart.
You're not wrong.
That's why I have to make one in season 2. It's like I have some good ideas.
Oh boy.
I think too that sadly there are some GMs out there who use that as an excuse to let out some of their creepier and ickier views on other genders and other types of people in general, that they just throw horrible stereotypes in as their
This is
NPCs
true.
because they are edge lords
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of
and horrible
RPG
people.
horror stories.
They're
that
not willing
use
to
this.
engage in a sincere exploration of different genders and
And
different
if they
sorts
are,
of people.
it's a harmful expression of a fetish, but it's used as
Not even
fetish.
necessarily a fetish. A lot of times it's just them trying to reduce things to their lowest common denominator in a way that makes us, like a thing of ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it's not meant to actually use it as like a storytelling. Even as like some people say, like, oh, it's being reduced to a storytelling element, but like it can be used as a storytelling element, but it's used as like reducive and harmful. And again, in an RP situation, it's hurting a player character, aka a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to as well. Like, I've kind of touched on boundaries a little bit, but like, it's whether or not the things that you're doing as a player, as a GM, etc., have any like real world harm on the people around you. And, you know, having characters that are different genders, different sexualities, etc., doesn't actually inflict any real world harm. It's,
Yep.
you know, when you bring in your own prejudices and biases and not like lack of understanding, but unwillingness to understand where problems arise.
Yes.
Most of it comes down to, unfortunately, to a great deal of bigotry
Unfortunately.
or some sort of phobia. It's like it is. Unfortunately, it's unkind. It's
Queerphobia is bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one flavor of it.
it, it's just an unfortunate part of things.
Believe us, we know. We've lived it our whole lives.
Again, I've seen it. It has been unfortunate.
And
Well-
now I think you had something about one of your games, Lauren.
Yes.
Yes, the
Yes.
thing I've been wanting you to say this whole time.
Yes, yes. The thing that I'm that in fact it's not just you, Betsy. I have some other people who have been waiting for this moment as well.
Ooh.
But
So
yes.
we take a sit down right now. Like okay.
Oh yeah. It's about time. I'm gonna go. So here we go. So min-maxing. It's a thing that happens in many different games. Honestly, it could probably be its own topic on this show. And there are many things that people can potentially min-max for. Min-maxing for damage, min-maxing for defense, min-maxing for as many actions as you could possibly take. All sorts of variants. My players have been min-maxing in their own way. And what they've been min-maxing for is Yuri, which, for those who might not be familiar with the term, it's lesbianism. They've been maxing for lesbianism. They're absolutely lesing out over there. So here's
You know,
the thing.
Yaoi is Yuri is with girls. There you go.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And
yes,
by no means is that a bad thing. Honestly, if in most situations, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So here's how this has been going down. This has been happening particularly in my Ginso Narratograph campaign, the Toho one. Toho is a video game series that is almost exclusively comprised of anime girls. It started up in the late 90s, became particularly popular in 2002. If you know about all those series out there within the like Infinite Anime Girl vortex or whatever, a lot of them have their inspiration derived from Toho in some way or another. And so in that regard, there's a lot of girls in the series. The primary creator of the series, Zun, doesn't have any real interest in depicting romantic situations. That just isn't what he's interested in doing. But naturally, there's a big fandom for shipping and all of the girls being with each other in a variety of contexts. And so, with that in mind,
to be mostly Yuri.
yes. So with that in mind, as far as the actual mechanics of Toho go, there are two primary phases of the game. There's the investigation phase, and there is the combat phase. In the investigation phase, characters will go around a map of the world called Gensokyo, and there's like 26 different spaces on there, and each space has anywhere from 1 to 3 possible events that could happen, or the player could come up with their own event if they so desire. And characters have tags, properties that indicate a character's species or job or a location that they're particularly attached to, or sometimes more of a narrative role that they fulfill. And if you think that any of your tags would
May I
apply
raise my
to help
hand?
you,
To I've been thinking about like what the closest like example to the game board was. It's kind of like Risk, but it has like other roles.
yeah, sort of. But if you think that any of your tags would help you with whatever task it is that you're trying to do, then that means that you will get an extra die for every relevant tag. And naturally, more dice is better. And so, with this in mind, the most critical element of character progression in the game is definitely the fact that at the end of a session, you can add a tag to your character. And with that in mind, there's a number of tags that already exist and already have some relevance to the game or whatnot. Every space on the board has a key tag where if the character has that tag, it doesn't matter what they're doing. That tag will always help them in that location. But also, players can just come up with any tag that they want whenever they're creating, whenever they're creating their new tag for their character. And so, as I ran my campaign, the tags that my players created, they started out pretty normal, but over time things shifted a little bit. So my players, there's three of them. One is playing as the main protagonist of the series, Reimu Hakurai, the Hakurai Shrine Maiden. Another is playing as Patchouli Knowledge, a witch who is known as the Great Unmoving Library. And then my third player is playing as Nazrin, a mouse girl Buddhist who is known for detecting and obtaining treasure. And so whenever they were adding tags, they started out pretty normal, but then everything changed at the end of the second session when my Nazrin player decided to add the Gyaru tag, which is a particular aesthetic that I will not be further elaborating upon.
I was going to say, I don't think we have time for that.
And this resulted in my Reimu player choosing to add this resulted in my Reimu player choosing to add the MILF tag, which is an acronym. Which is an acronym that I cannot elaborate upon.
Are we allowed to say those words on this podcast, Daryl?
Generally, we don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
You can look it up yourself if you so desire. But this then.
Google is free, kids.
That's okay. Yes.
Yes, this then resulted in setting the tone for the rest of the tags that the players would add.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so
Let her finish.
Yes, this set the tone for the players that for the tags that the players would then add from there on out. As in each session, they kind of just kept leaning in more and more into this element, where the Nazrin player added Buxom, the Reimu player added Ushimimi, the Patchouli player added BBW, which is Big Beautiful Woman, that is. I can at least say that acronym. And it all culminated in a recent session where every single player eventually added the tag Yuri. They all have the Yuri tag now. So if they think that engaging in Yuri will help them in a particular check, then it will, and we'll figure that out whenever they roleplay that particular scene. And the thing is that because exploration and combat are almost entirely separate phases, and the niche tags, they don't really have any application in combat, most of the scenarios, a substantial number of the scenarios are social encounters in some way or another. So applying these more socially focused tags to their characters does in fact help them have more dice for most different checks in the game. So it turns out that in Ginso Narratograph, min-maxing for Yuri is a viable tactic that actually has helped them succeed in most checks.
Speedrun strats.
This result in some sort of attack or some sort of check?
No. These are for like I said. Whenever you're running around the board, whenever you're finding clues, you're not attacking things. You're not fighting things. You're interacting with characters mostly, or occasionally exploring an area or trying to find something. So in any scenario where they're interacting with a character, if they think that engaging in Yuri activities might help them do the thing, they can use the tag, which gives them an extra die and also kind of directs how the scene is going to go. So,
It's
so
like
the,
rolling to
fascinating.
seduce.
so basically,
Yes.
they've just been within the
Yes,
past
yes.
within the past session. They've just been absolutely lizzing out with like every single character.
And good for them.
Indeed, it has it's certainly changed the way that the narrative has gone, because the plot that I wrote out involved the animal yakuza from hell trying to take over Gensokyo over a large period of time, over a number of sessions. And so I didn't have any particular expectations of any sort of romantic or sexual element. They just did this on their own. They just chose to do this entirely on their own. I didn't make this happen.
See,
Fascinating.
for example, you let the characters or the players figure out what they want to do with their characters in that respect, and it works out beautifully.
That said, the fact that they have continuously leaned into this dynamic, it has modified how things are going to go. It's at least modified to the final session of the campaign.
Because I'm sure that's never happened for other reasons than one of our games, right?
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes your players will just do that, and you know what? I'm okay with it. It's been this past session where they've been lezzing out with everybody was probably the best session in the entire game so far. So it's all worked out.
Did you tell your Nazarene player that I said they should add the slut tag so that they can actually like fully live out their slutty rat era?
Well, she'll certainly hear this now, so we'll keep that in mind.
I don't know who you are, but do it. Commit to the bit.
Do it.
So yeah, Nick, if you want to be able to compete with me, you need to create a situation where where all of us can do this, where we can min-max for Yuri. That's your next assignment. That's what the next session. That's what the next campaign needs to be.
Maybe a note, and I'll work on that myself. Write it down right here.
Because right now, Nick,
that's your homework.
Right now, my players are lezzing out more than yours, and we need to fix that.
We really do, honestly.
Write it down. I will double it.
All right. I'll make you keep your word on that one.
I think it's implied, and just out of respect for our GM, I don't push it, but that Daz is doing that in Cyberpunk.
I see.
Well, I mean, if anyone's been paying attention, yeah, Daz has been doing that this whole goddamn time.
Exactly.
We need it to be explicit. It needs to be a gameplay mechanic.
Walk around with a sign that says, "Hello, I am queer."
But yeah, no, that's
apparently. Well, I was about to say apparently she doesn't need that sign, but well, it sounds like she does. Because while I wouldn't be surprised at one or two, people in the campaign, not catching that. Well, you have left the campaign, but before that, you didn't pick up on it, so that's my fault.
I mean, that was more my character. Very self-conscious about it.
Very antisocial.
Yeah.
We discussed about that.
So is my character, though, so... My character just knows and doesn't care.
But yes, in any case, that was just a story that I wanted to tell. A bit of a...
Very lovely.
Yes,
the
one of those RPG glory stories, if you will.
Very much so.
That's awesome.
That has to be part of the actual, but the good one.
I suppose I didn't put a note about this in here, but figured we could briefly touch on it. If you can find a good venue outside of your group too that is friendly in your area, we're kind of lucky. We have quite a few game stores in our area, and one of them is very LGBTQ plus friendly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Common Ground Games.
Woo!
In Dallas. I'll be there next Friday on Free RPG Day. They will be stop number 2.
This is smaller, like comic. There's one nearby that I can shout out to.
Well, don't just say you could. Are you not going to shout them out after saying you could shout them out?
I just
did we lose you again?
I just checked it. They are they're not in business right
Oh,
Oh,
Sadness.
Common Ground is
now. Here, going
very,
down.
very, and Madness is improving their game.
That is
Nice.
improving their game. It's like again, I literally thought I used to go to there when I was a kid. It's like I just literally looked at them and was like, oh no.
Anything else that we wanted to touch on, though?
I don't
I
think
think
so.
I'm very thankful to hearing these unique voices. Like I'm a simple fella, and I just wanted to learn about what's going on, and I found great friends, great people, and I may not know the whole understanding of their places, but I understand it. I will stand with them.
That's
They're
very
my
We
friends.
appreciated,
appreciate that,
Nick.
Nick.
And you're a
At the
great
end of the day,
friend
that's what
too.
matters.
And you always have a place here. If you
Wait,
ever
wait.
need anything, you'll be here because you're
That.
your friends, your family.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Nick,
Mm-hmm.
and Betsy.
Yeah.
We now have recorded proof that he says that we have a place there.
That's admissible in court, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
That's not how that works.
You don't know that.
That's as close as I'm going to get to picking on him this episode, though, because he's had some very heartfelt moments, so I would feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel bad picking on him going into the exit of the show, but
This
I
is
do
true.
want to
Nick has been very open with us, and that's very good
Yep.
of you.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to thank both of you for coming on, and you especially, Lauren, for suggesting the topic. It is
Of
a
course.
very
It was
appropriate
amazing.
for the time of year topic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also an amazing topic that it's a pop topic that is very pop. Is part of the whole experience of role playing, and thank you for being part of it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks
You
for
know,
making
Thank you
space
for-
for us.
There's
Thank you for being part
tabletop
of the-
groups. There's
Thank
tabletop groups
you.
out there that started out all as guys, and now it's just women, and there was no change in the composition of the group.
I was gonna say that just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
And,
honestly RPGs have always been inclusive. It's been a group of individuals who were not necessarily respected, or it was nerds, it was weirdos, like, but it's everyone.
Mm-hmm. People always
And
talk
it's
about how
all
there's no such thing as safe spaces, and in one respect that's true, but that's because we need to go out of our way to carve out our own spaces, and I think that's something that we as gamers working together have done. We've carved out our own space for ourselves.
and then that's why there was also demonized. It's like there's the satanic panic and all that.
Ah, yes.
Part of being RPG gamers is we're all inclusive, and it's like, even though I'm glad that I got to learn and know more about you guys.
and one of my favorite things about all three of you
They
is
shenaned once, they'll shenan again.
Beautiful.
So you had that, but
Obviously.
you didn't have the Doomsday clip ready to go?
we don't do the doomsday gag on this show.
I'm just
Uh,
saying.
It's
We
a
do the
it's a
shenan
different
joke.
gag.
This might be considered picking on Nick. The other running gag we do on this show is
Squirrel!
Come on,
That's just what's inside my brain.
I was sick. I was putting out my heart.
I mean, y'all know how I am about rodents.
yes.
Actually, hamsters.
Yes, particularly
Yes.
hamsters. But any rodent will do, truly.
Well, thanks again for joining us. Here's the part of the show where I get all scripty and say head on over to howwerollgaming.com, your central hub for everything How We Roll Gaming. You'll find details on our current campaigns, our full podcast archive, plus quick links to our merch store and all our social channels so you can stay connected wherever you hang out online. If you've been following our socials, you've seen that for the past week or two, there have been quite a few Pride related posts on there. And in the merch store, By the time this episode drops, you'll have 1 week left for the 2026 Roll Proud collection of shirts. So head on out, get a shirt. That'll help support the show. And if you're looking to support the show directly, the best way, though, is through Patreon at patreon.com/howwerollgaming. We've got membership tiers starting at just $2 a month, with perks ranging from special recognition in our discount community to on-air credits and exclusive discounts in said merch store. And while you're supporting us, you can also help the show at no extra cost to you by using our drive-through affiliate link when picking up your next tabletop goodies through drive-through RPG. That link is in the show notes.
And finally, if we want to hear from you, got questions you want us to tackle, topics you love to see, or share a legendary RPG glory story of your own, drop us a line at podcast@howwerollgaming.com. We read everything, and your message might just end up in the show.
Tell them about how you are min-maxing for Yuri in your games.
Yes.
Yes.
As we all should be.
Until next time.
That's good. That's not good. Don't be mad. I hate that.
Until next time, game proudly, play boldly, and never let anyone else write your character sheet.
Yes.
I'm Daryl.
I'm Nick.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Betsy.
And this is how we roll.